So with that ado, I'd like to present Franco Skanga. Would you help me and bring him on here to speak?
Thanks very much, Connie, and thanks to the Rotaract Club of DCUIT. Thanks so much for helping out and being an audience for this speech number 16. I can't believe it's actually number 16. I'll wait for Christine to be ready to start the time. So thanks again for that. In all the speeches, I talk about facing fears and facing challenges, and that's the overall theme for this event. I want to start this one with a quote that says, "In the end, we only regret the chances that we didn't take. In the end, we only regret the chances that we didn't take." And in keeping with the theme of facing our fears and facing our challenges, it's difficult to talk about a challenge without bringing up the comfort zone. And it may be an overused term, but I want to talk about how I approach this concept of the comfort zone in a rather unorthodox way. I see the comfort zone as a little different. First, let me define what I mean by the comfort zone. The comfort zone is defined as a place or situation where one feels safe or at ease without stress. A place where one feels safe or at ease and without stress. And some of the common methods we always hear about is the concept of the comfort zone, basically as the comfort zone being this kind of fortress of solitude, if I can use a DC Comics reference. This place that's, where all of your safety nets lie, and everything else over in these other areas where the magic happens, right? You've got to break through that comfort zone. It's this common approach. And I don't see the comfort zone in that way. I don't see it as a place to break out of. And I want to talk a little bit about how I approach this concept, and hopefully there's some lessons that you can take away from what I've learned and apply it to your own lives. So my approach to the comfort zone is basically different. Comfort zones to me is something that's portable. Something that you amalgamate experiences into and not break out of. And a real purpose or challenge enable us to challenge those comfort zone boundaries. And we often do this more than we think. I mean, one comfort zone that I can think of off the bat, I'm talking about this event and how my father faces fear of cancer. But the first thing I think of when I think of the comfort zone is my parents immigrated to Canada. Talk about a comfort zone, talk about a culture shock. And coming into a different culture and challenging their own comfort zone boundaries, what they were familiar with in Italy. But how do we more deliberately challenge the boundaries of our comfort zone? This is the kind of thing that I learned in this event. First is to think of a fear that you want to face. And think of a real purpose behind facing that fear. I think if I were to try this and undertake this event for myself, I probably wouldn't have gone this far. I probably would have given up a long time ago. You find that when you have a purpose and you're doing something for a purpose, you're doing something for another person, it's much easier to challenge that comfort zone. It's much easier to challenge those fears that you have. Another third thing I learned about the comfort zone and what I want to share with you is that I don't see challenges as breakthroughs. I see, as I mentioned, comfort zones as places a place to amalgamate experiences into. For example, we could think with the traditional definition of a comfort zone, I'm way outside my comfort zone. And really, the way I see it is being here and experiencing this event and taking this experience into my comfort zone. The comfort zone of past experiences and bring experiences into and allow those boundaries to grow. I think we see examples of people challenging their comfort zones more than you think. Based on the traditional concept of the comfort zone, where you have to break through something and it's very difficult and you've got to kind of face your fear head on at all costs. And I'm not that aggressive, so I don't see it quite that way. But we see people challenging their comfort zones all the time, and I realize it. The first one I think of are weddings. You see people all over the dance floor who are not in the least bit comfortable dancing, right? But someone, their significant other, pulls them up off the chair, and they're going to challenge their comfort level dancing in public for the love of that significant other. You see it at funerals. Someone's providing a eulogy. It's not a comfortable place to be speaking in front of an audience, but they're doing it for the love of the person, they're doing it for the love of the memory of the person, and challenging their comfort zones for a real purpose. Another one you think of, and I hadn't really thought of until I had kids, was those, those playhouse things, you have where they have birthday parties at the McDonald's and so on. And I'd never catch myself crawling through any of those tunnels or jumping through those buckets of colored balls and all that kind of thing until I had children. But as soon as you have a child or someone pulling you in that direction to want to do something for them, they're going to challenge your comfort zone. And I learned that rather quickly, early on in my childhood. So I think of the Rotaract Club. I think a lot of times you're challenging your boundaries, your comfort zone boundaries all the time, whether it's the events that you're undertaking through the club, or the things that cause you to join the club in the first place. I'm sure each of you undertake events with the club that may make you uncomfortable or challenging your comfort zones. But you do it for the purpose of the club, you do it for the betterment of the student community. So you're not just always doing it for yourself, and that's where I think it's easier to challenge those boundaries. Before I go, I want to share a story of hope, and a lot of these stories are from the Canadian Cancer Society, and I share them with each of the audiences as part of the speeches, because ultimately that's what we're here to do, is to support the Canadian Cancer Society through this event. It's a story of a woman named Miranda, who was a breast cancer survivor. She said the diagnosis changed her life outlook. See, at the time, before she was diagnosed with cancer, she said her comfort zone was the four walls of her house. Right? Those are the physical comfort zone. She didn't want to go beyond. She never went very far beyond the four walls of her own home. And since she battled cancer and faced cancer, her whole perspective on this whole notion of the comfort zone changed. And so she decided to really challenge her comfort zone boundaries and support the Canadian Cancer Society by doing something not as fearful as public speaking, but she was doing something much more fearful, and that is skydiving. So, in moving from the confines of her own home, she wanted to do something fearful for the betterment of the Canadian Cancer Society and the clinic that helped her recover. And she said not enough money could help her demonstrate the gratitude she had for those who had helped her recover from cancer. Now, there's this famous speech that a college basketball coach named Jim Valvano gave in 1993. He was diagnosed with cancer, had 8 months to live. And he had this amazing speech. If you Google it or you YouTube it, Jim Valvano ESPYs, it's one of the most inspiring sports or cancer speeches you'll ever hear or see. I'll really paraphrase it for our time today. And he said, how do you get through the day? How do you get through what you're going through? And he said, there's 3 things you've got to do each day. If you do these 3 things every day, you live a fulfilled life. The first thing is to laugh. At any point in the day, you have to make sure you laugh. The second is to think. Spend some time in the day in thought and to think. The third is to cry. Be moved to tears, to joyful tears. And if you do those things in a day, that's great. If you do those 7 days a week, you're having a wonderful life. So in the end, we only regret the chances that we didn't take. So I hope there's some lessons I learned you can take away from here today. I want to thank you so much. Thanks to Rotaract Group for supporting this event. And have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Not everyone has the courage to do what you did and decide to conquer their fear. In a sense, what you're doing all today. And for the reason you're doing it, the cause, I think it's great. So the Rotaract Club would like to thank you for everything and help you in this fight against cancer. Thank you very much. Okay, so yes, please stay for the picture.
So we need some
So big smiles
in the front. Hold up some signs that just say perfect. Thank you so much.
Please enjoy the food. There's lots. I do not eat it all. Enjoy it.
I was kind of waiting for a signal from you, but it just started. Okay.
Get the time going. You know?
Yeah.
He hears balls all the time. Oh, thank you.
Get it almost looks like me. I was like, no, I can't. I think I want to put it back there.
Huh?